Hello and welcome to this tutorial on equals and hashcode method in Java. In this tutorial, we are going to look into these two methods and see what exactly is the significance of these two methods in Java. So let's get started. Consider an example of a class employee. In this class, we have three instance variables: employee name, department name, and also a language specialization for an employee. Now, when we create an object of this particular class, employee, we provide values of employee name as, let's say, Vivek, and department is R&D, and the language specialization is Java. When this object is created, a memory will be allocated in the heap memory. In our case, E1 is the object name, which contains all these informations. Now, every single object will be having some kind of hashcode value. We are going to talk about it in a while. Now let's say there is another object that we have created, which is object 2. In this object, we are going to give employee name as Vivek, same as the previous object, department as R&D, which is same as the previous one, and also the language specialization, which is Java. Technically, if we see, these two objects are basically same for us because it has similar values. But when we create these two objects with a new operator, there will be two different memory allocations being assigned in the Java heap memory. Now let's say we have created third object with the name Neil, who is working for R&D department, and the language specialization is Python. In this case, again, there will be new memory allocation which will be done in the heap memory, and there will be some hash value being associated with this object. Now, how exactly these hash values are generated and what exactly is the significance? Let's look into that. But before that, let us take an example. Let's say we have some series of numbers coming in and we want to create a set of numbers out of that. And the property of a set is basically it doesn't have any duplicate values. So what do? Let's say we have received 4. Well, 4 is alone now. Okay, so it's a unique number. Now let's say 3 came in. Okay, now 3 will be compared with the already existing values within the set. 3 doesn't exist, so it will be added to the set. Now let's say 2 came in. Okay, 2 is again unique because 2 does not exist. Now when 4 comes in once again, what will happen is 4 will be compared with other values which are already present in the set. In this case, 4 is already present, so 4 will be discarded. Now let's say another number came in, which is 1. 1 is unique, so it will be kept in the set. Now what happens here in case of integer is, it is easy to compare one number with the other as the property is only one, which is a numeric value. 1 is less than, greater than, or equals to 2. Well, 1 is less than 2. We know it. So that is how comparison happens, and that is how you can perform some operations like finding out whether it is equal or sorting the numbers and so on. Now consider another example in which we'll have to create a set of objects, basically an employee objects. For example, we can have different types of objects in which we might end up having let's say same values. Now how are we going to define that two objects are same and discard them from being added to the set once again? Let's say we have received an object which is E3. Well, let's see, E3 here has the employee name as Neil, department is R&D, and language is Python. Okay, so it is unique because this is the sole object right now. Let's say another object came in which is E2. Now E2 has the value employee name, which is Vivek, department R&D, language Java. So what exactly we do to check these two objects are same or not? We are going to use these two methods, which is equals and hashCode, and compare these two objects against each other. So in equals method, basically we'll have to define the uh, instant variables, or basically the values, to compare and see whether E3 is equal to E2 or not. In our case, let's say we are using employee name, department and language to compare E3 against E2. If we see that clearly employee name, department and language, all these three are different from each other. So we are going to consider E3 to be different from E2. And also you can see there's another method, which is hashCode method, which is using the same variables, employee name, department and language, to generate a hashCode value. Why? Because in Java, we have a contract between these two methods, which states that if two objects are considered to be equal, then it is going to give you a, a true value, a true Boolean value when compared with each other. And when two objects are equal to each other, which means that even hashCode value should be same for both the objects. So in this case, equals will not be true, it is going to be false, and hashCode will be different as we have different values. So we are going to consider E2 and E3 to be two different objects. Now let's say we have received another object, which is E1. Now E1 has employee name as Vivek, department as R&D, and language is Java, which is already present. So E1 will be compared against E3. As we can see, E1 and E3 has different values. So equals method is going to give you false. And hashCode method is also going to give you two different hash values. So these two objects will be considered as different. Alright, let's move further and compare E1 against E2. Now we can see that employee name Vivek and employee name Vivek here in object 2, which is E2, are same. If we move ahead and see department and language, these two are also same. And according to the logic that we have written here, equals method now is going to give you true when compared against E2 and E1. What will happen next is we'll have to discard E1 object. Why? Because it is already present and equals and hashCode method has already proved it. So we are going to remove that. Now let's say we have another object E4. Let's say E4 has different values for employee name, department and language. Maybe employee name is let's say John, and department is QA, and language is, let's say, automation in Java. So all these values are different from the existing one in our set, and same will be justified by our equals and hashCode method. So ultimately employee 4 object is going to be a unique object. So by this way, equals and hashCode method is used to do object comparisons. So this is one of the implementation where we use all these methods. It has a wider implementation when we do object sorting or when we use hashing and so on. I hope you liked and enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please do subscribe. Thank you.